At UNSW, I love how I'm treated as an artist, not just a student, and that began with portfolio entry for my degree. Portfolio entry basically means you have the opportunity to show your skills, and that lowers the ATAR you need to be offered a place. The point is to show your potential, not necessarily perfect technique. So I submitted a really diverse portfolio, like photography, digital animation, and then my HSC major work, which is really personal about my Korean identity. Now I'm on my way to becoming an art teacher. I want to nurture the potential in other students as well. I would say to Year 12 students, whatever path you want to follow, there is more than one way to get there. So use your portfolio to showcase what lights you up.
Good evening and welcome to the UNSW Portfolio Entry Info Evening. I'm Cameron, a Faculty Recruitment Officer for the Arts, Design and Architecture faculty here at UNSW, and I'll be your host tonight. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge the Bedegal people, the traditional custodians of the land on which I am joining you from tonight. I would like to pay my respects to their elders, both past and present, and extend that respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people joining us today. Tonight, we will provide an overview of the UNSW Portfolio Entry Scheme, aiming to equip you with all the information needed to submit a successful portfolio. We will cover key dates, submission requirements, and eligible degrees. You will also hear from our current students and alumni that gained entry through this pathway. And finally, you will be able to join our breakout rooms where a panel of esteemed academics will be waiting to answer your questions. Before we dive into the portfolio entry scheme, I'd like to briefly highlight some of UNSW's recent achievements. UNSW is ranked in the top 20 universities globally and has maintained this position for 3 consecutive years. This reflects the strength of our teaching, research excellence, and global impact. With more than 300 degrees to choose from, students can explore their interests while building a pathway towards their future careers. We're also proud to have been recognised by the Australian Financial Review as having Australia's most employable students for 7 consecutive years. This recognition reflects our strong industry connections and commitment to preparing graduates who are career ready. Within the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture, we continue to perform exceptionally well. In addition, our art and design students benefit from studying in our dedicated art and design campus in Paddington, a purpose-built, creative environment equipped with industry standard facilities that support hands-on learning and experimentation. Now let's dive into the UNSW Portfolio Entry Scheme. What makes the UNSW Portfolio Entry pathway a great choice for you? So this scheme allows you to showcase your passion, your creativity, and your talent alongside your ATAR. Successful applicants receive an early conditional offer with an adjusted ATAR requirement of up to 10 ATAR points below the advertised lowest selection rank. It's a great opportunity to boost your chances of admission to UNSW. To be eligible, you must be a domestic student currently in Year 12 or have already completed your Year 12 studies. If you finished high school within the last 5 years, you will be able to use your ATAR or any tertiary studies such as a Cert 4, diploma or advanced diploma you have completed for entry. Please also take note of the application dates on the slide on your screens now. Round 1 is open currently and applications will close on Monday, 20th July at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. Take advantage of this early round so that you can submit your portfolio and focus on your exams when they come around. Round 2 opens on 5th September, which is also UNSW Open Day, and closes on Monday, 16th November. Mark these dates on your calendar to ensure you stay on track with the application process. If you're considering studying at UNSW, I would highly recommend attending our UNSW Open Day. It's a great opportunity to meet our team and discover what makes UNSW unique. Applying is a very simple process. So first, you will need to submit your application via UAC, which includes registering, selecting your courses, paying the application fee, and then finalising your submission. Once your application has been lodged and the fee paid, you will receive a unique 9-digit UAC number. Next, you need to create an account on our portfolio entry platform. We suggest using the same email address you registered for UAC to ensure you receive all portfolio-related communications. Thirdly, prepare and submit your portfolio. What you submit varies depending on the degree you are interested in. This could include a video, a critical reflection, images, and more. If your portfolio entry submission is successful, you will be granted an early conditional offer with an adjusted ATAR requirement. To then receive a firm offer, you just must meet the adjusted ATAR requirement and list the degree as your highest eligible preference for UAC December round 2. If you are a Year 12 student and your results are not released by December round 2, then you will be eligible for January round 1. So now that you have an overview of the steps required to submit your portfolio, you might be wondering, what are the submission requirements? For the Faculty of Arts, Design and Architecture stream, there are 2 categories. So, Category A applies to degrees like Architectural Studies, Construction Management and Property, Design, Fine Arts, Interior Architecture with Honours, and Landscape Architecture with Honours. These are your creative and hands-on degrees, where you have specific creative examples to submit. Your submission should include a cover letter explaining your interest in studying your chosen degree with a maximum of 400 words, and a portfolio of original work. This could include up to 6 images with short descriptions, a video, music recording, a multimedia work, animation, website, or a 500-word critical review. It leaves it open for you to choose the best way to present your work. Please note, the critical review option is not applicable to the Architectural Studies degree, and you would simply need to select from one of the other options if you wanted to apply for that program. You are also able to apply for eligible double degree options within the Arts, Design and Architecture category under Category A. If you have used generative AI in the preparation of your portfolio entry application, you must declare this as part of your submission. More information on this declaration can be found on our website. Category B is specific to degrees such as arts, city planning, media, social sciences, social work, and education secondary. Similarly, you need to include a cover letter explaining your interest in studying your chosen degree with a maximum of 400 words. Your portfolio should showcase your original work that demonstrates your ability and interest in your chosen degree. This could be an article, an essay, a blog, social media campaign, website, photos, video, a school report, or a letter of recommendation. You also need to provide a critical reflection on a unique problem that you have tackled and the impact that you've made within 500 words. Double degree options within Arts, Design and Architecture are also available under Category B, and you are welcome to apply for those as part of your portfolio entry submission. As with Category A, if you have used generative AI in the preparation of your portfolio entry application, you must declare this in your submission. As you prepare your portfolio, please keep these guidelines in mind. Our academics will use the following assessment criteria when evaluating your portfolio. First, your submission should clearly express your interest, passion, and strengths in the field. Make sure to articulate why you are drawn to this area and what makes you a strong candidate. Next, your portfolio should highlight your innovation, curiosity, and creative potential. Showcase the unique processes, thoughtful considerations, and exciting experiments you've undertaken. This is your chance to demonstrate how you think and create. Additionally, your portfolio should showcase your technical skills and proficiencies relevant to the field. Highlight the specific abilities that make you well suited for your chosen area of study. Finally, ensure your submission meets the specified amount and length requirements. Double check the guidelines to make sure you have included everything needed and that your submission is within the required limits. By following these guidelines, you'll create a compelling and comprehensive portfolio that truly reflects your abilities and passions. Now you've heard about the scheme and the application process, we're going to hear from our current students and alumni who share their experience with the portfolio entry pathway. All right, thanks so much for joining me here today, guys. What I'll get you to do is if we could go down the line and introduce yourself and what you are currently doing now.
My name is Cynthia. I am currently a third-year student studying architectural studies.
My name is Felix. I'm a third-year student studying media in screen and sound production.
I'm Amasha and I'm currently working in a role involving marketing.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, guys. So, what inspired you to apply through the UNSW portfolio entry scheme? Cynthia.
So the main reason why I wanted to do it was for ease of mind. I knew that going into portfolio entry, it would allow me to focus more on my skills related to architecture rather than just relying on exams. So it made me less stressed going into HSC.
Yeah, fantastic. Felix?
For me, even though I'm a domestic student, I went to high school overseas, so I didn't have an ATAR, and I was a bit worried about my grades translating over to schools here. So the portfolio entry just made me feel more confident applying for this degree.
Fantastic. Where did you go to high school, Felix?
I went to high school in the US, which is where I grew up.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. And Amasha?
For me, like the ease of mind, and yeah, again, similar to Cynthia, I didn't have to worry about my ATAR, and being able to showcase all my different skills and the different art forms, it was definitely a lot. Yeah, great way to do it.
Okay, thanks so much, guys. So for the next question, I'm going to get all of you to answer this one as well. So how did you approach building your portfolio? And can you give a bit of detail about what you submitted, what your, or what strengths or experiences did you feel that the portfolio entry pathway sort of brought you and allowed you to showcase that traditional entry sort of wouldn't allow you to do? So Cynthia, we'll start with you.
Yeah. When building my portfolio, I looked at the guidelines and I chose to showcase 6 projects. One of the projects was my design and tech major work, which was furniture design. Essentially, I showcased photos of an under-desk storage unit. And then I also did other projects such as the graphic design, CAD modeling, and watercolor sketches. Anything that really showcased my ability to work digitally and physically with material.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of range. Fantastic. Felix?
Yeah, so for me, I did the same with showcasing a few different works. For me, I was really interested in a lot of different things, and I didn't really know where I wanted to go with my degree, so I kind of just tried to showcase a bit of everything. So I did some drawings and paintings, and I tried to really break down sort of my workflow and the way that I went through those, just documenting each sort of progression. I was also working as a pottery instructor during high school, so I had several ceramics pieces that I was able to sort of put in that, and these are all things that I worked on both in high school and during my gap year.
Yeah, fantastic. And having spoken to a few of the academics, I know that they like seeing that process sort of come through in applications and submissions. So fantastic. And it is also good to point out that these were major works for you guys. And so for high school students at home, submitting your major work as part of your portfolio is absolutely allowed. So Amasha, what about you?
So for me, for my degree, I did design, but for my portfolio, I ended up submitting a bunch of photography works. And so having that knowledge that I could submit anything that I wanted, even though it wasn't related to my degree, was definitely put me at ease, knowing that I can showcase like whatever side I wanted to in my work. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's great to see that, you know, the area of interest that you actually put in for your application or submission it changed a tiny bit for what you were doing in university. All right, well, thanks so much, guys. And I think I'll stick with you, Amasha, for this next question. Can you give a bit of an overview of what you're currently doing and how the portfolio entry pathway influenced your journey to university?
Yep. So the portfolio entry was helpful in trying to get my own portfolio together and like teaching me how to put together all my works and to showcase like what I wanted to show to the employers and everything. So I'm currently doing a marketing role, so doing graphic design and also creating content for a company. And so it was helpful in being able to.
Yeah, fantastic. And are you, in this marketing role, are you doing exactly what you planned to do from when you were studying, or have you gone a bit off the track since you've gone out into an actual graduate position or graduate role?
Yeah, I think going through my degree, things have changed, and what I wanted to do, like what I set out to do, has also changed, like here and there with how like an actual job is. But for the most part, I am doing what I want to do. So I'm quite happy.
That's great to hear. Fantastic. Cynthia, in what ways did applying through portfolio entry prepare you for your current studies that you're doing now?
Yeah, so doing portfolio entry kind of gave me the first taste of what submission would be like for studios, where we essentially are given something similar, like a brief and a guideline to follow, where we need to show what we need to present, essentially. So it was a good way to get me into studios.
Yeah, fantastic. And the studios, I presume they run all throughout your course. So are you finding that even into your third year, what you did in portfolio entry is sort of still accessible, I suppose, to what you're doing now?
Yeah. Every single studio we have to like showcase a portfolio and then have a lot of ways to be able to present ideas. So it was a good way.
Fantastic. So that's really great to hear. Felix, I might jump to you for this one. So what resources or support systems were most helpful to you during the process?
Yeah, so for me, as I was living overseas, I wasn't able to come to some other things like O Week and info nights, which do look really helpful. But for me, what worked really well was just going through the whole website. I spent so much time on there just looking at all of the different sort of resources and tools that they have on the official UNSW website. They also had some really good videos on the UNSW YouTube that had current and previous students who sort of talked about their experience with the portfolio. That was really good for me. And I called sort of the student support line several times and emailed just to get some clarification. So those were the best things for me.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great to hear. And Amarsha, did you have any sort of support systems that you used during your entry to the portfolio entry?
Luckily for me, in my high school, we had mentors. Every student had a mentor. So my mentor was able to point me towards this portfolio entryway and also help me to actually build it together. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So they actually mentioned it to you through high school. That's fantastic. And so what I might just get us to sort of end on here is a lot of our viewers at the moment are obviously high school students. They're considering portfolio entry pathway themselves for the coming year. And so it'd be good to, looking back on the process that you guys went through, is there one piece of advice that you wish you'd known before submitting or finding out about portfolio entry that you think it would be good for high school students now to sort of know? Cynthia?
One thing I would say is always double check everything. So double check your captions, your cover letter. Even if you think everything's all right, maybe ask a teacher or like a friend to double check over you as well.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's a really good point. Did any of you guys, when you submitted your work, get someone to check what you had done?
Yeah, for me, I did have my visual arts teacher in high school look at some of the work that I was putting together, as well as, just like a guardian to check what I was submitting.
Yeah, fantastic. And Amarsha, did your mentor obviously pointed you towards the portfolio entry pathway? Did they then have a look at what you had thought to submit?
Yeah, they looked over all of the things I wanted to submit and then pointed me in the right direction for things. So yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Great to hear. All right, so sticking with that advice pathway, Felix, what would you like to?
Yeah, so definitely double checking all of the rules, guidelines, word counts. Those are important. I'd say for me, just letting go of perfectionism. I think it's important to be able to showcase where you're at. The degree is supposed to help you learn, so you don't need to already be where you want to be in 10 years. So don't sort of reject yourself before you even submit.
And lastly, Amarsha, what advice would you give to our current high school students who are looking to come through the pathway?
Kind of going off of that, like not being worried about the work that you submit. So even if you think something's not that great, like try and submit it anyways, because it might be the one thing that gets you through to the degree.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Well, that is all we have, or all we have time for tonight for this one. We will now be heading into the academic Q&A section of the event. In order to do this, Please follow the link in the chat or the link received in your emails to join the relevant breakout room based on the degree that you are interested in studying. So there will be 2 different breakout rooms, one for category A and one for category B. Please make sure to copy and paste these into your browser to enter these informative sessions. If after tonight you still have questions regarding the scheme, please contact our team of excellent student advisors via email or phone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.